At some point, we all reach a stage where we have to face the reality of aging. But there's one question that's often left unspoken. How do we know when an elderly loved one is nearing the end of their life? It's not something we want to think about, and yet, it's something we all must prepare for. We may wish for the best, but sometimes the body gives us clear signals, subtle but undeniable signs that can reveal the path ahead. Imagine for a moment the person you love most, your grandmother, your father, or perhaps your best friend, someone who's been through life's ups and downs, who's seen decades of history unfold. You want to ensure they receive the best care, that they're comfortable, and that their final days are filled with love, peace, and dignity. But how can you be certain that the end is near? The truth is, there are physical, emotional, and behavioral changes that can signal someone is in their final year. These aren't just vague feelings or assumptions. They are signs that can be observed, signs that speak louder than words. And while we can't predict exactly when the time will come, understanding these signals can help you navigate the path with more grace and clarity. Today we'll explore 5 signs that an elderly person may be in their final year, signs that you can't ignore. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of what to look for, how to offer better care, and how to make sure your loved one feels valued and loved every step of the way. We all hope for a peaceful, painless passing, but the truth is there's no guidebook for when life reaches its twilight. However, by recognizing these signs early on, we can give the best possible support during those final moments. So let's take a closer look. Stay with me as we explore the 5 key signs that can reveal when an elderly person is in their final year. Let's begin this journey of understanding together. Let's start with one of the most noticeable signs: sudden and unexplained weight loss. This isn't just a little fluctuation in the numbers on the scale. We're talking about a consistent, significant loss that happens seemingly without reason. In fact, studies have shown that weight loss in the elderly, especially as they approach their final years, can be a major indicator of their health declining. You may notice that someone you love, who used to have a healthy appetite, suddenly struggles to eat or loses their interest in food altogether. You might find that they're losing weight rapidly, and no matter what they do, whether it's eating a full meal or trying different types of food, their body refuses to retain the nutrients it needs. It's as if the body begins shutting down its ability to function optimally. But why does this happen? It's important to understand that as we age, our metabolism slows down. For elderly individuals, their bodies may begin to absorb fewer nutrients, and even basic functions can become a challenge. As the body grows weaker, it starts to prioritize the essentials for survival, often resulting in significant weight loss. Additionally, underlying health conditions such as cancer, heart failure, or even simple age-related malnutrition can play a huge role in this decline. But beyond the physical aspect, there's an emotional component as well. If you're noticing these changes in a loved one, it might be helpful to consider their emotional state. Many elderly individuals begin to feel a sense of loss or hopelessness, particularly if they've lost loved ones or faced other life changes. These feelings can unintentionally affect their appetite, which can contribute to the weight loss. It's important to not just look at the physical side but also consider the emotional and psychological aspects of their health. In such moments, it's crucial to provide emotional support and reassurance. Whether it's a favorite meal, a meaningful conversation, or simply sitting together in silence, small acts of comfort can help soothe their emotional state. Always consult with a healthcare professional if you're concerned about significant weight loss, as they can help determine if it's part of a broader health issue that requires intervention. Weight loss is just one sign to watch for, but another common change is far more subtle. Let's move on to the next sign. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked: increased sleep and decreased social interaction. If your loved one is spending more time in bed or sleeping longer than usual, it could be a sign that their body is beginning to conserve energy for what's ahead. Many elderly people experience this, especially in their final year, and it can happen gradually or even suddenly. As the body ages, it becomes less able to cope with the physical stress of everyday life, and sleep serves as the body's way of recuperating. However, when sleep begins to take up more of their day, it's important to be mindful. For many elderly individuals, the need for more rest is a response to their body's decreasing functionality. What might start as a longer nap here and there can soon turn into several naps throughout the day, or even the desire to sleep for much longer stretches at night. But it's not just about sleep. As they sleep more, elderly individuals often begin to withdraw from social activities, which can be just as telling. You may notice that they are no longer as interested in talking with friends, watching their favorite shows, or even partaking in family meals. This social isolation can be triggered by a variety of things: the physical effort it takes to socialize, feelings of being a burden, or simply a lack of energy to keep up with others. These changes can be especially concerning if they're uncharacteristic of the person's usual behavior. A lack of engagement with the outside world is often one of the clearest emotional signs that someone's health is deteriorating. Their body is telling them to rest, but they may also feel disconnected or even unsure of their place in the world as they near the end of their journey. During this time, it's essential to provide emotional support by continuing to reach out, even if they don't always respond. Sometimes, simply sitting beside them, holding their hand, or watching a familiar movie together can bring comfort and remind them that they are still valued, even if they can't interact in the same way they used to. At the same time, it's crucial to monitor their physical health during this period. Increased sleep can sometimes signal more serious issues, such as organ failure or depression, especially in older individuals. If the sleeping patterns continue to change dramatically or are paired with other signs like confusion or hallucinations, it's essential to consult with a healthcare professional who can assess the situation. As we continue, one of the most profound and difficult signs to witness is cognitive decline, paired with increasing mental confusion. This is a heartbreaking part of the aging process, and it's often one of the hardest to accept. While memory loss can be a normal part of aging, when it progresses to the point of confusion, forgetfulness, and disorientation, it could be a sign that the end is approaching. For many elderly individuals, the brain begins to lose some of its sharpness as they age. Short-term memory loss, such as forgetting where they place their keys or needing more reminders throughout the day, is common. But when cognitive decline becomes more pronounced, it's usually a signal that something more serious is at play. As people enter their final years, their ability to remember basic information or recognize loved ones can start to fade. They may confuse the present with the past or struggle to follow simple conversations. In some cases, they might forget even the most familiar faces and surroundings. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of cognitive decline is when an elderly person begins to show signs of confusion or disorientation. They might ask the same question repeatedly, seem lost even in their own home, or not recognize familiar people, even close family members. These moments can be incredibly distressing for everyone involved, and it's important to approach them with compassion and understanding. It's not that they don't recognize you, it's that their brain is losing the ability to piece together the reality around them. In addition to confusion, there can also be changes in behavior. Some elderly individuals, especially those in their final year, may experience sudden mood swings, anxiety, or even aggression. These shifts can be caused by physical changes in the brain, such as reduced blood flow to certain areas or the effects of underlying diseases like dementia or Alzheimer's disease. The changes aren't always easy to navigate, especially for caregivers or family members, but they're part of the process. Patience becomes key during these times. Providing a calm, reassuring presence can help ease their anxiety and create a sense of safety. Cognitive decline also significantly impacts a person's ability to perform daily tasks. Simple actions like getting dressed, preparing a meal, or even managing personal hygiene can become overwhelming. It's during these moments that families need to step in with extra support and understanding. If this kind of mental confusion becomes frequent or severe, it's time to seek professional help. There are medications and therapies available that can sometimes slow the progression of cognitive decline, and healthcare professionals can guide families on how to manage the symptoms. Cognitive changes are difficult, but there's another important sign that can't be overlooked: physical frailty. This is a sign that, although it can be gradual, becomes undeniable as time passes. The body simply becomes less able to perform its normal functions. Tasks that were once easy, such as walking, standing, or even sitting up, may become challenging. The muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and simple movements that were once second nature now take extra effort. For many elderly individuals, the decline in strength is one of the most visible and concerning signs that they are in their final year. The body's ability to heal itself diminishes, and injuries take longer to recover from. You may notice that your loved one begins to move more slowly, or they might become easily fatigued after doing things that used to be part of their daily routine. They might need assistance to stand up, or they may avoid certain activities altogether because they don't have the strength to do them anymore. But it's not just about the inability to move. The muscle loss associated with frailty also affects a person's balance. This can lead to falls, which can be especially dangerous for the elderly. These falls might not always cause serious injury, but they do indicate that the body's resilience is starting to diminish. You may also notice that your loved one becomes more sedentary, preferring to stay in one place for long periods of time rather than engaging in physical activities. This reduced mobility is not just a matter of preference, it's a physical reality. Their body is struggling to keep up. Frailty also impacts a person's immune system. The elderly have a harder time fighting off infections, and what would be a minor illness for a younger person can turn into something much more serious. A cold, a simple cut, or a small bruise can develop into something far worse. This weakening of the immune system is a key sign that the body is beginning to shut down. When these frailty-related symptoms are combined with other signs of aging, such as cognitive decline or weight loss, they make it even clearer that a person's health is in serious decline. But while frailty is often inevitable, there are still ways to help improve quality of life. Providing nutritious meals, encouraging gentle movement or exercise, and offering physical therapy or mobility aids can help maintain some level of independence. It's essential, however, to monitor these changes closely. If frailty progresses rapidly or leads to complications such as frequent falls or infections, seeking professional medical advice is crucial. The final sign we'll discuss today is something that many families find particularly heartbreaking: withdrawal from life and a noticeable loss of interest in activities that once brought joy. This withdrawal can be subtle at first, with someone starting to spend more time alone, but as time goes on, it becomes more pronounced. It's not just a matter of physical limitations anymore. It's as if their emotional connection to the world around them begins to fade. One of the first signs of this withdrawal is when a loved one no longer expresses interest in things that used to excite them. Perhaps they no longer enjoy reading their favorite books, watching television, or even socializing with family and friends. Hobbies that once brought them comfort or happiness may seem like distant memories. The person who once loved gardening might now leave their plants unattended. The avid cook might lose interest in preparing meals. Their once lively personality can feel muted, almost as if they're no longer engaged with life itself. This isn't just about being tired or physically unable to participate. This kind of withdrawal can stem from emotional exhaustion or a growing sense of detachment. The elderly, especially those nearing the end of life, may begin to feel disconnected from the world around them, and they might start withdrawing to protect themselves from the overwhelming emotions associated with aging and the inevitability of death. It's a form of self-preservation, a way to minimize the pain of the reality they're facing. But it's also important to recognize that this kind of withdrawal can be a sign of depression, which is not uncommon in the elderly, especially when they're facing significant life changes. Depression can make someone feel as though they're no longer a part of the world around them, and that loss of purpose can cause them to disengage from everything they once loved. In these moments, it's crucial to approach them with compassion and care. Sometimes they simply need to feel understood and not alone in their experience. While it's difficult to accept, this sign often becomes more apparent as a loved one nears the end of their life. As they withdraw emotionally and socially, it's vital to continue offering them love, comfort, and presence, even if they don't actively seek it. Sometimes just being there with them, even in silence, can provide a sense of solace and connection. It's also essential to consult with medical professionals when this emotional withdrawal becomes evident, as they can help determine if there are underlying issues such as depression, chronic illness, or even neurological decline that might be contributing to this behavior. There are treatments and therapies that can help alleviate feelings of isolation and hopelessness, so it's always worth seeking help if you notice a loved one becoming increasingly disengaged. As we've explored today, the signs that an elderly person may be in their final year are complex and multifaceted. They range from physical symptoms like weight loss and frailty to emotional shifts like withdrawal from life and cognitive decline. These signs can be difficult to witness and even harder to acknowledge, but by recognizing them early, we can provide our loved ones with the best care, compassion, and support. It's important to remember that each person's journey is unique, and these signs may manifest differently for everyone. There is no one-size-fits-all way to predict the final year of life, but knowing these signs can help us prepare emotionally, practically, and mentally for what's ahead. In doing so, we can ensure that our loved ones feel loved, cared for, and respected, even as they near the end of their journey. If you're caring for an elderly loved one or preparing for these moments, take the time to cherish the time you have left. Your presence, love, and patience will make all the difference. If you found this video helpful, or if you have any experiences or thoughts to share, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on important content like this. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're not alone in this journey.